Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So, the Oath Keepers trial is winding down. Prosecutors rested their case last week. The defense started questioning witnesses. So, here's what's gone down since my last update. There's a lot. A typewritten note was introduced into evidence. It showed that Oath Keepers leader Elmer Stewart Rhodes urged Donald Trump to invoke the Insurrection Act. The note said, quote, "You must use the Insurrection Act and use the power of the presidency to stop him. And all us veterans will support you, and so will the vast majority of military." Rhodes also encouraged Trump to, quote, "do as Lincoln did." He arrested congressmen, state legislators, and issued a warrant for SCOTUS Chief Justice Taney. So, what makes this most crucial for the prosecution of Rhodes and why this is different than the other reports we've heard of him calling for Trump to use the Insurrection Act is this letter, this note was written after January 6th. Remember, Rhodes's whole defense is, oh, we were just there in DC to do Trump's bidding in case he called for the Insurrection Act. That was on him. We were just responding to it. This was not our plan. This was not something we cooked up. We didn't personally want to overthrow the government. We were just there to help Trump. But according to witness and military vet Jason Alpers, Rhodes typed this message into Alpers' phone on January 10th of 2021. And Alpers testified that he had an indirect line to then President Donald Trump, and Rhodes was aware that he had some sort of line of communication. So Alpers met with him. He also recorded the conversation with Rhodes, which Rhodes wasn't aware of. And when these two men met, they met in a parking lot. Rhodes typed the message to Trump on his phone. He wanted this guy to deliver this message directly to him. And then Rhodes was heard in this recording stating that we will have a civil war. And, quote, "my only regret is they should have brought rifles." And then he also told Alpers, quote, "I'd hang fucking Pelosi from the lamppost." So ultimately, Alpers did not convey Rhodes' message because he said that he didn't agree with what Rhodes wanted to do. But then the jury also heard and saw messages sent by Rhodes and other defendants discussing their plans to continue fighting after January 6th. These were on the night of January 6th. So after Rhodes encouraged his members to keep up the fight in a group chat, defendant Kelly Meggs wrote, quote, "we aren't quitting, we are reloading." And then Meggs also stated that if Congress reconvened that night, quote, "we are going back." And then when another member said that he had hoped to see Nancy Pelosi's head rolling down the front steps of the Capitol, Meggs responded, quote, "we looked for her." Other messages show how proud the Oath Keepers were of their alleged illegal actions. For example, in a message to her fiance, defendant Jessica Watkins wrote, quote, "forced our way into the Senate and House, got tear gassed, and muscled the cops back like Spartans." And then defendant Thomas Caldwell told a friend that if they had had their weapons with them, quote, "I guarantee we would have killed 100 politicians." Then the jury also saw and heard messages that were transmitted by Oath Keepers' attorney and also Rhodes's girlfriend at the time, Kelly Sorrell. So although they did say that Sorrell was just conveying the messages to the members as directed and dictated by Rhodes. So the messages to these Oath Keeper leaders included things like, quote, "do not chatter about Oath Keepers members doing anything at Capitol. Stop the chatter. I told you before that anything you say can and will be used against you." Quote, "you all need to delete any of your comments regarding who did what." That was all in caps. Also, quote, "do prepare yourselves, your gear, your teams, and above all, your community. Whatever Trump decides to do, you will need to be ready." So that last one, I guarantee they're going to probably use it, the defense meaning, to say, see, they weren't going to do anything unless Trump told them to. It's not like they were working on their own volition and they just came up with this idea. And, unless Trump called for it, they were going to stand down. They're going to try to use that. So anyway, guys, this is part one. This was so lengthy, I had to break it into two parts. So be sure to watch the second part where I talk about Rhodes being called to the witness stand and the attorneys for the Oath Keepers trying to build a defense, as poor as it is. So take care. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Be sure to check out part two.